Well, back guys to another F1 retro review, and we're looking at the 2006 season. We're looking at the United States Grand Prix in Indianapolis. Of course, this was a year on from the absolute disaster that was a six-car race because Michelin didn't know how to design tyres that didn't blow up through the final corner at Indianapolis. So we had the two Ferraris, the two Minardis, and the two Jordans. It almost seemed like it was scripted for Michael Schumacher to get a win in an F1 season. But anyway, I digress. This is the track. If you look at Indianapolis, it's pretty much the most generic, bog standard track ever. But basically, like, it is the Indy 500, but half of it's not a Indy 500. But anyway, guys, I digress. And as we moved on to the race, we had absolute carnage at turn one with Mark Webber and Christian. Was it Christian? No, it was Mark Webber. It was Mark Webber and Christian Clear, and they took each other out into turn one, which sparked about three cars behind them also out each other. But then ahead, you had Montoya who hit the back of Raikkonen. He then spun, hit Button, took out Liozzi. Then it hit Highfield, who started flipping through the air in an absolutely monumental crash, man. It was massive. This brought out the safety car, of course, because even back in these days, like, it was just mad. Then we had Sato at the safety car restart launching a move on Montero. And this is a race where these guys, realistically, it's their only chance of getting points just due to the nature of the amount of cars that have just retired. But Sato wiped Montero out. They both have to retire. Sato's at turn one, and the pickup truck comes onto the track, right, and it picks up Sato while the race is still going on at turn one. It just shows you how far F1's came, like. And I mean, I get why safety needs to happen, but I do feel like these days they are especially very shite bag about it, in my opinion. But I can understand why, like, here this would be a safety car, absolutely. But I feel like when there's a bit of rain, I'm not talking about the Emilio Regagna race that got cancelled. I mean, people died there, so that's fair enough. You can't really have an issue with that. But yeah, I feel like F1 needs to stop being shite bag when it comes to certain stuff. But as the race continues, Schumacher undercuts Massa, but he was always going to beat Massa. Even though Massa beat him, overtook him initially, he was always going to beat him. Well, Fisichella overtakes Alonso, and Alonso was absolutely awful in this Grand Prix. He was. The whole weekend, he had no pace, and he was awful. And his driver rating, he does end up finishing fifth, but he even gets beat by Jarno Trulli, who started in the pit lane. Like, that's no right. Like, that just shouldn't be happening. But it was a race that just had chaos at the beginning, and then not an awful lot after it, guys. So the race did finish. Michael Schumacher first, Felipe Massa second, Fisichella third, Jarno Trulli fourth, Alonso fifth, Barrichello sixth, Coulthard, and then I wasn't actually, it was Scott Speed to get took out in turn one. I wasn't Liozzi because he grabbed himself a point. So good race for him to beat Rosberg, but only 9 drivers finished. Absolutely insane race this was. It was weird though, because Toro Rosso were actually running the 2005 Red Bull engine this season, but they had to have it turned down because that was a V10, and obviously this year was brought in the V8. So very, very, very interesting. But in terms of driver ratings, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So we had the big man known as Frankie Montaghi. I'm just going to give him a 5. I'll say a 5. I mean, I don't really know much about him. I'm going to give him a 5. Christian Klein started, not exactly, I mean, he started 16th. I mean, it's not exactly spectacular. Got wiped out at turn 1. I'll give him a 5. Scott Speed, decent qualifying, and he got a really good start, so I'm going to give him a 7, which may seem really high, but I think he got shafted here in his home Grand Prix. Mark Webber qualified 12, kind of wiped out clean. Absolute fucking disaster, so I'm going to give Mark Webber a 4. When Pablo Montoya literally caused everything after the Clean Webber incident, so I'm going to give Montoya a 3. And as you know, guys, he wouldn't be at McLaren much longer. Nick Heidfeld, kind of helpless, started P10, I'm going to give him a 5. Kimi Räikkönen started P9 and got wiped out. I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Jenson Button started 7th, tried to continue after the damage but couldn't. I'm going to give him a 5. Takuma Sato, I'm going to give him a 4 because just absolutely stupid for him to do this, man. Honestly, do not get it. Thiago Montero got wiped out by Sato, unlucky. I'll give him a 6. Jacques Villeneuve was actually running pretty well, qualified 6th, and then his engine blew up, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Christian Albers Was doing a decent drive, still being up there, but then his transmission broke, so I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Ralf Schumacher, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. Rosberg, who was running pretty well in the race, even though he started really low down, but I mean, he got beat to points by Liuzzi, so I'm going to give him a 5. Liuzzi, though, I'm going to give a 7. Fantastic drive for him to go from 20th to 8th in a Toro Rosso, but I know the circumstances. Cool top from 17th to 7th, I'll give him a 6. Barrichello started 4th and finished 6th despite all the chaos around him. I'm going to give him a 6. Fernando Alonso started 5th, finished 5th, outpaced by everybody. Well, I say the people he should be battling, like the Ferraris and the Renaults. I mean, the Ferraris looked a step above this weekend, but Alonso getting outclassed by Fisichella, that's a 4 out of 10 for me. Jarno Trulli for the pit lane to 4th, I'm going to give him an 8. Fisichella, I'm going to give him an 8. Out-qualified Alonso and beat him in the race, so it's an 8 for me. Massa kind of just balled it and let Schumacher pass, so I'm going to give him a 7. And then Michael Schumacher, yeah, he was fantastic in this era, man. Obviously, I know Alonso won the titles, but he was still really good. Schumacher can't take it away from him, so I'm going to give him a 9. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below, and until next time, peace.